Episode 135, Jealousy. Ivana clenched her fists and stared at the hospital hallway. She wanted to anger her cousin and see her in pain. Instead, Jade was indifferent. Not only did she not feel the slightest bit of sadness, she even said that Ivana's husband almost went to prison. What rape attempt? What a load of bullshit. Bruce would never do that. He was a good man. He only loved Ivana and would never go after another woman. It was all a rumour. People were trying to set him up, that was all. He'd said so the other day. It was all fake. Someone had gotten him drunk. Those women had tried to seduce him. He was so handsome and so rich, of course there would be some leeches. Ivana was used to it. She liked that other women wanted him. It showed that she had good taste and that she had defeated them. Suzanne was already halfway down the corridor without her. Ivana might actually be most angry with her mother, who didn't say a word to Jade the whole time. She chased after her, teetering on her stiletto heels. She caught up with Suzanne at the door. "Mum, what's wrong with you? You didn't defend me. You didn't say anything at all. What, are you scared of Jade now because she's in a shampoo commercial?" Ivana's tone was cutting. She was angry and sad. She and Bruce were planning a wedding. She didn't need any additional problems right now. She didn't want Jade to cause trouble. That was why Ivana made a special trip to tell her about this, so she could control the scene. It was just that she didn't expect Jade to not care at all. Suzanne saw how angry her daughter was and was afraid that others would recognise them. She pulled her scarf up over her face and coldly said, "Let's talk in the car." As their driver navigated the car out of the hospital parking lot, Ivana stared at the hospital with eyes full of hate. When she thought of Jade's advertisement, she seethed more intensely. She didn't expect her cousin to actually become famous. It was just a shampoo ad. Who gets famous for being in a shampoo ad? When Ivana saw Jade in her expensive clothes and dark sunglasses like a movie star at a festival, she was so jealous that she thought she might explode. Jade was nobody. How could she afford those clothes? What right did she have to be better dressed than Ivana? Ivana had been a little princess her whole life, with Jade following behind her, wearing her car stops when she was lucky enough to get them. Jade could not be allowed to get ahead of her in life. Once they were in the car, Suzanne took off her scarf. She said coldly, "So, Jade isn't such a nice girl after all. Who do you think she had to screw to get cast in that commercial? Why would I suck up to someone like that?" Seeing her mother return to her usual self, Ivana had nothing more to say. There was a trace of a smile on her face. "Mother, you're right," Ivana agreed. "Jade has got to be sleeping her way to the top. It's so unfair to all the girls who work hard and have talent. But hey, she probably won't last long." She laughed a mean laugh. "She'll be begging to play a dead body on cop shows soon." Ivana and Suzanne knew they weren't people to be messed with. They both smiled. Jade's grandmother was probably going crazy from anger now. Before Jade had arrived in the ward, Ivana had told Grandma Iris just how rich her granddaughter was. She said Jade would move her grandmother to a private VIP room and pay all her medical bills. Ivana also hinted that Jade had gotten both her money and her acting jobs by sleeping with powerful men. This goddamn old lady had spent so much of their family's money on medical bills. Now she could be Jade's problem. In the ward, Nurse Mason was trying to comfort Jade's grandmother. When the nurse saw Jade come over, she immediately told her what happened. Jade was furious. She couldn't believe her poisonous cousin and aunt had said all this to an old woman in the hospital. Then again, maybe it wasn't that surprising. But if she'd known earlier, she wouldn't have let them off so easily. Fortunately, her grandmother didn't believe a word of it. This warmed Jade's heart through and through. The person who treated her the best in this world had always been her grandmother. Now there was Dario too. She knew that in the acting industry there was always going to be misunderstandings. It was enough for her to know that she was innocent. She was going to pursue her dreams no matter what other people thought. "All right, Grandma, they're gone. Don't pay them any attention. They're just trying to make you mad." Jade smiled at her grandma. "So if you get mad, don't they win?" Grandma Iris smiled back at her. Jade realised she had to have a talk with the hospital administration. She hoped that if Ivana and Suzanne came back, she could have them chased out before they could disturb her grandmother. Grandma Iris was too excited now, her breath coming quick and rough. Jade took a deep breath to calm herself down so she could comfort her grandmother. She had left Washington for only a couple of weeks, and her grandmother's condition had improved drastically. She was recovering well from the surgery. If nothing unexpected happened, she should be able to be discharged very soon. Grandma Iris took Jade's hand. "I am so angry. Those two women deliberately came to bother me. Jade, sweetheart, I don't believe a word. Grandma knows you've always been a good girl." She squeezed her hand. "Grandma, if you believe me, that's enough. I don't care about anyone else. Now you should get some rest. You shouldn't waste your energy on being mad at those horrible women." Jade kissed her on the cheek and carefully helped her lie down under the blanket. When Grandma Iris was falling asleep, the nurse pulled Jade to the side. "Your aunt is really something," she said. "I'm so sorry they got in here. Don't worry. Next time, I'll have them thrown out." There was guilt in her eyes.